Books and coffee, that's all I need. Lost in a world of fantasy. Oh, indeed, from sci-fi.
Hello and welcome to today's video and the 70 millionth time of me doing this voiceover for the simple fact that my machine did not work and could see me but couldn't hear me for some insane reason. As you can tell, I'm super happy about that. Anyway, today's video is a very exciting announcement. My visual will not match my voice, I'm afraid, but let's just have a bit of fun with that and let's just laugh it off because it's no big deal, right? Worse things happen at sea. Anyway, this announcement is about a readathon that myself and Beatrice over at Beatrice's Book Nook are going to launch next month, and it will be running between the 8th and the 14th of December. And what's that? You want to know what it's called? Okay, well, it's called Readathon. We wanted to make a moldable readathon that you can reuse at any time of year to just whenever you need to have a bit of a reset, a bit of a moment, to get back on track, to look at them goals, reassess life, etc., etc. You know the drill. We wanted to do this, but we also wanted to make it extra super fun. And what's more fun than a game of Tetris, right? So I will pop on the screen here, hopefully, if I can figure out how to. The graphics that myself and Beatrice worked really hard on making. The whole readathon is based around building lines like you do in Tetris. You might want to just get one line, you might want to go for 5 lines, you might want to get the whole board, entirely up to you. It's only a week long, although obviously you could do this yourself anytime for as long as you like. It's entirely up to you. The prompts are based in 3 sections. So section 1 is life and Christmas prompts. This next section is all about reading and books. And then the third section is based on mental health and gratitude. So we have put together a how-to sheet and the Tetris board, and obviously there is a prompt sheet. So the aim is obviously to get the lines. What you need to know about the prompts is that you don't have to do them all. It's not a point-based system. Do the prompts that work for you and your life that week. And they are reusable. So for me, for instance, I am going to be doing a bunch of the mental health ones. My mental health is suffering a little bit at the moment, and I really need to drill down on them mental health skills that I have built up through therapy, etc. So I'm going to be using the mental health prompts, and I'm going to use the same reading prompt 3 times. So I'm going to use this to tackle book clubs that I desperately want to take part in and don't very often get the opportunity to, because I want to do them all. And yeah, unfortunately, book clubs are not like Pokemon, and you can't catch them all. You can try, but a month is a month. It's 31 days. That's all you get. So you need to know how to join. If you are not already part of the book club Discord, then the link is in the description box below. To have access to the graphics and everything, you will need to join the Discord. However, we will be doing sprints and whatnot all on YouTube. So feel free, you can jot down. I'll be going over the prompts in a minute. You can jot them down. You can do them yourself if you want to. We would very much like you to join us. And lastly, hang on, try that sentence again. Another little note is if you are a content creator of any description, whether you're on YouTube or Instagram, please feel free to tag us in any posts about Readathon. We'd love to see any TBRs. We can share it to our stories, etc. Let's go over these prompts then, shall we? So let's go over the life and Christmas prompts first. Number 1 is do your to-do list. You'll see here that this is a very quick, easy way to get yourself a shape to put on your board. And you could do this 7 times and get 7 pieces. So you could do a daily to-do list and get a piece for each one. It doesn't count just once. You can count it as many times in that week as you do. Next, we have wrap a present or organise a present. So this might be for Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, then you could be sorting out someone's birthday gift. You could be sorting out a treat for yourself because you work hard and you deserve to be treated too. So make this work for you. Number 3, enjoy a Christmas activity. Again, this is flexible. So it says Christmas, but again, if you don't celebrate Christmas, then you can do something else that is relevant to you, something that you enjoy at this time of year. Next, we have declutter one area of your home. We always say that we're going to clear out that cluttered drawer, that dumping ground of a kitchen table, or that cupboard in the hallway that gets stuff shoved into and never sees the light of day again. Feel free to pick one little area that you've been meaning to tackle and get that done. Next, we have decorate if you celebrate. No, let me try that one again. Okay, so decorate your house or a room for Christmas. Again, you can adapt that. So you might want to just refresh the ornaments that you have on your fireplace, or you might want to put up that picture that you've been meaning to put up on the wall for a while. Decorate doesn't have to be Christmas decorations if you don't want it to, or if you've already done your Christmas decorations, as I know a bunch of us have. Next, we have think about what could. Nope, I switched that over. The next one is increase hydration. So we all know that we all probably should be hydrating a little bit more than we do. So increase that hydration. I haven't put specifically water there, but obviously if one of your goals is to increase your water intake, go for it. If one of your goals is to switch your coffee over to decaf, go for it. If you don't care about any of that and just want to drink coffee all day, you do that. No judgment here. But hydration is key, and we would like to encourage that. And finally, in this section, we have plan a menu. So you might be planning the menu for Christmas Day, or you might be planning a menu for New Year's Eve, or you might be planning your menus for the week, so that you know what food to buy in. Again, make this work for you. Next, we have the book and reading prompts. So the first one is read your favourite genre that's set in a festive period. This one might be a little bit tricky depending on what genre is your favourite, but maybe you fancy a bit of a challenge, and this is the prompt to do that with. Next, we have finish a book you started this year. Now, for me, I have a couple of books that I keep putting back on the bookshelf because I like to pretend that I haven't started them yet, because it stresses me out that I've started them and not finished them, and I don't want to take them into next year. So I probably should do this prompt, but will I do this prompt is the question. But you can if you want to. Next, we have read a next book in a series. I think quite a few of us like to start a series and then just start another series and not finish the previous series, and then we'll add another series, and then we'll add another series. Pick a series, any series, whichever one you're most excited to get to, and carry it on. Next, we have a mood read. So you might not feel like doing any of the other prompts, in which case pick this one and just read whatever you want to read. It might be a magazine, it might be the newspaper, it might be something off your TBR. It really doesn't matter. If it makes you happy, do it. Next, we have read a book you might unhaul if you don't read it by the end of the year. Now, we all have books, I think, that, or maybe not all, but a lot of us will have a book on our shelves that stares at us. And in fact, actually, my book that I have is staring at me in this video because it's the top of that pile on the windowsill. Sophie's World, I will get to it. It's on the list this month, but it has been on many previous lists. So pick that book. Next, we have reread a favourite or seasonal book. You might have a book that you read every year at this time of year. For instance, I love reading A Christmas Carol in December. And I do this most years, so you may pick that up, or you might just have a favourite book that isn't Christmassy or that you love to reread. Finally, on the books and reading prompts, we have read a book with your initials in the title. Now, the initials don't need to be together. So, for instance, my initials are LM. So, it might be a book that has L in the title and M in the author's name. It doesn't have to be together. So, yeah, we can be flexible with that one. And then in the final section, we have mental health prompts. So the first one here is think about 3 things you're happy about or that make you happy. Something as simple as waking up with the window open and the fresh air hits you just right. It doesn't have to be something big. It could be something really trivial that you wouldn't necessarily notice all of the time, but in that moment, it just makes you happy. Next, we have do one thing mindfully. So, this one thing mindfully, for anyone who isn't clear on what mindfully means, is that you pick a thing to do, like, for example, making a cup of tea or coffee, and you just do that one thing and you just focus on all of your senses in that moment that you're doing. So, for however long it takes to make a cup of tea or coffee, all you're doing is focusing on what sounds you can hear and what things you can smell and what things you can see. Use all of your senses. No judgment. Any judgments that come into your mind, just let them float on by like they're no big thing. And just focus on that one thing. Now, if you haven't done anything like this before, I will say that this is a challenging thing to learn because our brains are very busy most of the time and we will be thinking a lot of things. For example, oh, there's some sugar on the top of, I'll have to clear that up. Just let that thought pass by. That's not saying you won't clear up that sugar, it's just saying that in that moment, it's not a problem. It's just going to keep on going by like a cloud, and you're just going to keep focusing, keep coming back to that present moment, what you can hear, what you can smell, what you can taste, what you can. So, next we have tell someone something nice. Now, I think very often we think nice things about other people, but it's not very often we actually get the chance to tell them. Take this moment to just drop a quick message to someone who you appreciate for something, somehow, some way. It could be that someone smiled at you at just the right time, or it could be that a neighbour brought in a package for you, or someone put your wheelie bin out for you. It could just be something and nothing. Or you look lovely today. I appreciate you. You're a kind person. That kind of thing. I'm way over explaining this, but for some reason I like to over explain things. Next, we have spend 5 minutes doing a brain dump or journaling. So, again, if you haven't done this concept before and want to give it a go, I will say that is why I've put the time frame on it, because I think without a time frame, sometimes we'll just sit there and just stare at the paper and not know what to write. Whereas if we have a time frame and we just start with I feel, and then you just focus on that feeling, and just see what happens, what comes out. It doesn't have to make sense. It could be a list of words that are not connected in any way, shape, or form. It really doesn't matter. Whatever is in your brain for 5 minutes, let it out onto the paper. You'll be absolutely astonished at what this can do for your mood. I'm not even kidding. The amounts of times that I've felt overwhelmed and I've just set myself 5 minutes on the timer, let it all out on a bit of paper, and then I've just been able to move on. It's really great. I recently did this on my community tab. In fact, actually, if this goes up today like I plan, then yeah, I did this brain dump thing on my community tab. So you're welcome. Um, welcome to my brain. And then, okay, so next we have go on a walk or get some fresh air. Obviously, this depends on your situation, and you might be working from home that day, be chock-a-block full of meetings, and not be able to leave the house and go for a walk. You may have a physical health condition or a mental health condition that impacts your ability to leave the house, in which case, just open that window, sit near it, and get that fresh air. Just do what you can, and anything you do is good enough. Next, we have where am I on my list? Here I am. Next, we have make your own mental health toolbox. For me, mine started off like an official document, shall we say, but now mine's pared down to two aspects that actually work for me, because I think initially when you first make this mental health toolbox, you don't necessarily know exactly what's going to work for you, so you have to trial and error things. So for me, what works for me is I have a thing in my notes app where I have like a list of things if I'm feeling anxious, a list of things that I found that help out with that. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, a list of things that I know work for me. So it could be examples of this are if I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'll use the brain dumping for 5 minutes thing that I mentioned in one of the other prompts. It might be doing the 5 4 3 2 1 thing, where if I'm feeling anxious, just focusing on 5 things I can hear, 4 things I can see, 3 things. I never get them in the right order, but you get the concept. And you can Google these things, so you'll be able to find out if you Google the 5 4 3 2 1 and anxiety, you'll find out what that means, if you don't already use it. So it is just about thinking. It might seem too overwhelming to think of lots of different things that may or may not help you in certain situations. So just focus on if you're a particularly anxious person, or if you deal with low mood, or if you have a very stressful job, if you're feeling stressed about Christmas coming up. Focus in and think about what will help you manage and get through. What I would like to mention, a little bit of a shameless plug here, is I am holding a mental health / reading sprints 12 hours on the 28th of November. It is to raise awareness for Mind, the charity, hopefully do some fundraising too. But I will be talking about mental health toolboxes in that day, and also I have a video set up to talk about these things more. So if you're interested in that, then obviously stick around and hopefully you'll have the information you need. But you don't even have to get the information from me. Let's be clear. You could Google this as well. None of this is a new concept from me at all. By the way, these are all things that have been taught to me through therapy or Googling stuff myself. Finally, on the mental health prompts list, we have think about what could reduce stress / anxiety around this time of year. So a lot of people find Christmas quite stressful. Again, it doesn't matter if you don't celebrate Christmas. You might still end up having to take part in Christmas events at work, or generally this time of year can be quiet. As much as we love it, it can also be stressful, and two things can be true at the same time. And let's think about 3 things that can help us get through this season in as much of a mentally one piece as we can. That was a sentence that made no sense, but I think hopefully you'll get what I mean. That's all of the prompt. I think that's everything. If there's anything that I've missed, or if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the comments below. Hopefully we'll see you in the Discord or around about on the internet. Have a great day. Love you lots. Bye. And I'm recording a video.
Books and coffee, that's all I need. Lost in a world of fantasy. Oh, indeed, from sci-fi thrillers to romance tales and horror stories that make me wail. I'm a book Hermit, part of the BookTube crew.